So today I want to cover journalism, like journalism in an ANCAP society. In an ANCAP society, journalism wouldn't be censored, or it wouldn't be censored, and it wouldn't be related to the government since there wouldn't be a government, of course. I think about today's journalism is it mainly gets better. I don't know too much about it, but I do know it has some connection to the government. Like Larkin Rose, he showed like at least 16 different examples of news stations, news/journalism stations, saying this is a threat to our democracy. And yeah, I don't like that kind of journalism as like a connection to the government. I think esoteric entity, who is now called Back Alley Philosophy, which also involves the filthy heretic last I checked, said the media is owned by the government, or at least funded by the government. There's that too, I think, but I don't know too much about that. But I will say it's important to have media that just reports the truth, and I guess also analyzes it, like what it really all means. Like, yeah, I keep putting my hands together. Like, what I like about the alternate media, like Reason.com, as opposed to the mainstream media like CNN or MSNBC or CBS or ABC or Fox, is they actually do a lot of analysis with the media, as opposed to just being a bunch of sound bites and vision bites. Like, they say, okay, this is what the government is trying to do when they censor when they regulate your businesses, or they collect taxes, or they do war, and actually analyze instead of just saying like the government did war, or it's regulating businesses like the mainstream media does. So, anyways, journalism would have the role not just to show you the... So how about this? In anarcho-capitalism, journalism would report the wrongdoings of people that harm others. So, if a company's being bad, like polluting the environment or killing people, they'd be allowed to report on that. The employees would be allowed to be whistleblowers who say to the media, hey, this is what my boss or my company's been doing to me and others. It sucks. I think they should be punished, or I, at the very least, think I and others shouldn't work here. So, there's that. And if a company would refuse to be interviewed, or by the media, or held accountable, they wouldn't refuse to be held. They couldn't refuse to be held accountable by the ANCAP commune or dispute resolution agency, because if they did wrong, they're going to be punished. But as for refusing an interview, even if they don't really tell you what they're doing, that would still count against them, because they're not being honest. They're not being transparent, and if they're not being honest and transparent, chances are people aren't going to work for that company. Because who wants to work for a company that unjustly hides things from you and outright hurts you? That's not going to work for. It doesn't sound good or safe, or even like a good investment to work for. So yeah, good journalism wouldn't slander people. It wouldn't make up lies. It wouldn't, how do I say this? One thing about the news, the mainstream media, I don't like is when the police shoot someone dead, they usually mention their race right off the bat. Like for example, they shot a black man. And the thing about that is, they might be implying the police are racist, even if they aren't. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. So I don't think they should really mention the race right off the bat, because people can take that and use it to say, hey, the cops are inherently racist, or every time a black guy gets shot, it means they're racist. This is a racially charged climate. It seems like, if the guy's black, you can figure that out from them showing his face if they do. If you need to mention his race for description, hey, this is what the guy looks like, watch out for him, or yeah, this is what the guy looks like, we caught him for trying to rape someone or murder someone or kidnap or rob. This is who to look out for when they get released, or if they escape from prison, that kind of thing. But just saying, oh, they shot a black guy, or even a Mexican or white guy or Native American or Asian guy, that kind of could be racially charged, so I don't think they should mention the race right off the bat. I would think an Ancapistan alternative media would be good and not just mention race right off the bat. You know, you don't want to give racist organizations like Black Lives Matter, you don't want to give organizations like those ammunition to just claim racism where it's not. I mean, there's definitely some racism in society, but it's not absolutely at every corner for, you know, it's not always about race. So yeah, I don't want to give those guys, I don't want to give guys to just those people ammunition to be racist even further. I feel like people, actually what I wanted to say was, what I also wanted to say is that in the documentary I proposed on a recent previous video, there definitely, yeah, for anarcho-capitalism, there would just definitely be some journalism involved in that. You know, you interview people straight off the street, you can interview people you know, you can interview status or other ANCAPs, you know, that'd be good journalism, reporting, getting people's opinions and minds and facts, you know, communication. I think it'd be kind of interesting if I were an ANCAP journalist, like, forgot his name, Molinet. There's this ANCAP whose first name begins with a K, and last name is like Molinet, you know, begins with an M, but I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right. So, yeah, journalism is important in society. Well, truly free market journalism, not just government propaganda or any of that shit. Because it helps keep transparency, and if someone does something bad, it gets reported, it gets known, people can make a wise, smart, functional decision based on that. So, you know, like someone does such and such as someone, kills, rapes, murders, robs, steals, rips off, that kind of thing. It gets reported, and that's the basics. I guess I gotta say that I'm not happy with news stations such as Fox News, because they're not only status, but they're kind of obnoxious about it. Like, Fox News is really conservative. They support conservative government. They're not like, this liberal did this, this, and this, yet they don't acknowledge what the conservative politicians did. That gets kind of annoying. And then, you know, the reverse is true for, like, I believe CNN or MSNBC or CBS or ABC. I think they might be liberal news stations. They mention the bad stuff that conservatives did, but not the liberals. I might be kind of a little ignorant on this, despite the fact I've seen those stations time and time again. But, you know, I got some ideas of how they suck. So, you want to be able to have media that really engages the viewer, like, you know, okay, how do I say this? I need to improve on these. So yeah, like I said, I like the libertarian mainstream. I mean, the libertarian alternative media. Be cool if there's a mainstream libertarian media that really says the truth on how we don't need government and really analyzes what the government does and how it's wrong and stuff like that. I guess maybe that counts as a bias, but if it's the truth, I say go forward with it. Not just say things like, you know, it's a threat to our democracy, or we need to protect democracy, none of that bullshit. Or acting like just one side is bad, not the other. Like, I do have to give the conservatives and the liberals credit. And even the Libertarian Party, they do a pretty damn good job of acknowledging how the opposing parties are bad. They just do a shitty job acknowledging how their own party themselves are bad. And acknowledging how even being a party and even being in a government is bad. And yeah, that goes for the Libertarian Party. You know, the Libertarian Party really isn't libertarian since, well, it's a party, it's government, it's force, you know, they want to rule over you, just with minimal power, of course. So, can't have them either rolling over you, and that's not good. You know, I'm no longer an anarchist, I'm an anarchist, so I know that you don't have government or parties, period, you just have freedom. So, a bit of a poorly made video, but at least I got some decent functional content out there with it. I just want to be better at doing this and be able to spread the word and perhaps do more to make freedom and liberty a reality, you know, / a normality. rather than just state, elitism. That really sucks. You know, make freedom the norm. Yeah, that's what I'm about.